I watched a fantastic anime film last night, chat. It's called The Princess and the Pilot, and essentially, it's about two kingdoms, and each kingdom is basically at war. And one kingdom has a princess of a noble family, and the prince of the kingdom, the other kingdom, one of the two warring kingdoms, right? He wants to end the wars, and he wants to create peace, and so he visits the kingdom, a kingdom that has the princess, and he says that he proposes to the princess, and he says, "I'm going to end the war within 1 year. I'm going to end the war, and after that we'll get married, basically." And the princess agrees to that. And essentially, though, however, she gets attacked, and it's found out that they're trying to assassinate the princess, basically, one of the enemy empires. So what they decide to do is they decide to send her over to the prince. And how they're gonna do that is, but these are back in like the olden days, right? The only way to do it is send her with a soldier on a small sort of plane. It's called the Santa Cruz, basically. It's a small like fighter plane with a gun, and basically, so they get the top pilot, basically, the top pilot in the basically the empire, and they send her in the plane with the pilot on a journey across the ocean in the hopes that they'll get her there safely. And of course, along the way, the path will be very dangerous and treacherous, and the pilot will have to protect this princess from like enemy fleets and other things. And the movie is beautiful, honestly. I loved seeing because I loved seeing the way the pilot's relationship sort of grew with the princess throughout this journey that they're embarking on across the sea. I also loved seeing I loved the action as well. It felt very exciting seeing like how they're gonna evade the enemy and how they're gonna get away from the enemy, how he's going to successfully secure the princess. And I also thought the princess is of like a higher class, right? And the pilot is of a lower class citizen. And I thought it was really interesting to see how they treat one another, how they treat the princess really fairly, but this pilot that's put in all the hard work, he gets nothing, basically. And they sort of treat him like crap and treat him like dirt and whatnot, because his birth is of like sort of commoner or more poor origins. And he's flown all this way, but all they give him is a bit of cash, and a bit of cash for him to as a reward, basically. And in the end, he doesn't even get to take credit for any of his actions that he did. And I just think it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story about a journey of this pilot and this princess, and how they venture across the sea, the different troubles they come across, and how they help one another. And I think it's really cool, and I guess you could call it sort of a forbidden romance, because the pilot's been instructed even that he's not even to interact with the princess. He can only answer her with yes or no to her questions. And I thought it was really interesting. I say it's forbidden because he's like a commoner and she's like a noble, and so they can't really be together. And I think it's great. It's a fantastic anime film. You should go check it out. The Princess and the Pilot. It's hard to describe without like spoiling it. It's best to just check it out for yourself, honestly.